Alright. So let's see. Right. Platinum Numemon. And yeah. I was... If I recall correctly. Because yeah, these two are already... Yeah, there's nothing to artificially raise this guy's ABI. He's just with us because...
Oh, I think... Wasn't it New Game Plus? You can buy it, but it's really expensive.
Yeah. Like, technically, I could digivolve him, but then I'd have to get his camaraderie back to 100, and then whichever one I turned him into, I would need another of the other, and I'd need to get that one to 100 camaraderie again in order to get Paildramon back.
You can buy camaraderie items now.
That is true.
It's just the ABI you need to worry about.
Yep. But we brought him so I could force encounters. Now, if I remember, yeah, Lucky Smon needs to go into... I'm bringing them back and forth into Crescentmon because of the one. And then this one is becoming Dinosmon. Because, yeah, he has the ABI. He just needs the stats, which I think he can actually reach really easily. But that's what we're looking at right now. So we have Volforce and Jez. I believe it's Dynasmon, and then the other one is... I don't know what Lucky Smon is turning into. It's not... It's not Gallantmon. Gallantmon is... Which island has him? Oh my god, I don't actually remember which one has him.
I didn't...
Oh, here we go. Guilmon.
See it?
I don't
Oh.
remember what stat I needed up, but I could tell by looking at the leader. I needed intelligence up. Okay. Yeah, we need Guilmon's
Gallantmon.
intelligence.
You said Gallantmon, that's what I was looking for.
Well, yeah, that's what I need him to turn into. But...
Well, that's the name I was looking for, so I'm like, where? I see it.
But I also remember it's tied to his ABI. So he needs to go up and down a bunch.
Okay.
Yeah, and they're currently undergoing training. Yeah, I'm glad I remembered what all needs to be done. Also, I might have to... Did it actually, like... No, my Discord's... maxed.
What?
It's Digimon, sorry, Cyber Sleuth's that's volume's been turned down. Why is Digimon Stories... game audio so quiet? What the fuck?
It's fine for me. It's actually a little loud, but that's because I think the 7 movie we watched was a little loud. So I had the volume up.
I actually have to
For
turn
that.
this up because this is really quiet.
Okay.
Try to put it near 20.
I'll turn mine down a little more then.
Yeah, I don't think it needs to be in the yellow, but it was like really, really, really quiet. I don't know how long that's been like that.
I see.
There. It's at 25 now. I'm looking at the levels.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. I didn't realize the game has been so quiet. Okay. But now I worry that it might be.
I mean, I think you made it quiet originally, so the dialogue wouldn't overpower you, because it's all in Japanese.
Right.
If you were gonna be talking over it, I think that's why.
Yeah. I mean, this is just battle stuff, so.
Yeah.
Okay, so Wingdramon needs to be level 60.
You're also reading the dialogue during cutscenes as well at the same time
That's
that they were
true.
talking.
That was something that I was doing. Ugh.
I don't remember who, but it's that one that had 184 EXP left. You could have gotten that last level.
Yeah.
Like 10 levels, you can't get 11.
Man. And then I'm gonna be able to have like a really funky party.
I'm pretty sure your party right now is as funky as it gets.
But yeah, I don't know if you've seen any, but the new Digimon story, they had like a 1.5 minute like trailer ad, and it was just like the Digimon battles, and two things that I noticed. In a similar vein to 3D Pokemon, a lot of the animations are recycled. I saw a lot of stuff that was the same for special abilities and stuff like that.
I have not watched this trailer.
I mean, there's like
Just
one really brief one where you see like a few of the human characters, and then the next one is literally just like a montage of various Digimon of various Digivolutions, doing battle stuff. But very briefly, I saw Luchamon, the bigger one, not the little one, but not Satan mode. It's the one that I had before Satan mode. I forget what that one was called. He had a completely different ability because I saw a completely different animation on him. But he was there, and I was like, oh boy, I could make another one. Hopefully it's not quite as much of an ask to have him as in this game.
The larval stage an option to make?
I don't know. But yeah, I saw a lot of comments on that video going like, oh, well, you're so back. And I was like, I just hope that the game is good and fun. And also isn't a crazy amount of money.
You gotta play the sequel. Wait for it to go on sale.
Well, to be fair, I'm not playing the first Digimon story game. This is not the first one in the Digimon story, I guess, series. Because when I look up Digimon story, there's several that appear. I mean, actually...
Because like when I search things for this game, I just type Digimon story and then thing I'm searching for. I don't need to clarify it's Cyber Sleuth, so I never knew there was another one.
Digimon Story Series, sometimes abbreviated as Digist or Digisuto, is a series of Digimon games for portable and home consoles. The early story games that made it to North America were renamed as Digimon World titles. Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth was the first to break the trend. So there's Digimon World DS, Digimon World Dawn and Dusk, Digimon Story Lost Evolution, Digimon Story Super Extros Wars Red and Blue, and then Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth. I'm assuming the ones that have Digimon World as their titles were called Digimon Story, but the Western releases, that's the...
Then that's probably why they don't... You don't have to search for them, or you don't have to specify.
Yeah,
You mean this game.
But the ones between Digimon World Dawn and Dusk and Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth are Digimon Story games that probably never got officially localized.
I see.
But yeah, I was looking up a GIF for my Go Live tweet early on, and I looked up Digimon Story, and I saw a DS graphics, and I was like, what? That's not what I'm looking for. And I had to specify Cyber Sleuth in order to get gameplay and cutscene stuff for this game to appear.
So it's like one of those SMT that's like part of the series, but it's like called something different. Like, I think the Devil Summoner game is part of, like, Soul Hackers or something.
Yeah.
It's something weird like that.
That's a thing.
Just call it the same name if it's part of the series.
I mean, that's kind of, like, that's sort of the thing that I think Persona has stepped away from, but that's, like, you see it in Persona 1 and 2 especially. The detective agency is from Shin Megami Tensei. The characters are from which SMT title?
I don't know.
I believe they're part of Devil Summoner.
Is it Kuzunoa? I don't remember.
I think so. Okay, let me see. Persona... I know I'm in the middle of a...
I'll put that if you want.
It is the Kuzunoha Detective Agency. Which means, yeah, it's... The Kuzunoha Detective Agency means that they're tied in with... Devil Summoner and Raido, because the original Japanese title for Raizo Kuzunoha is Devil Summoner Raido Kuzunoha. Because until, like...
And that's what it's called on the PS2.
Yeah.
As well.
Truly, it isn't really until Persona 3 that they were like, okay, let's try to stop having all of them be tied into one another or be, like, closely related, which is a shame, but I don't think that's necessarily, like, an intentional design on 3's part, because the knowledge that Persona 3 was originally supposed to take over the course of your entire high school life and not just a single year of your high school life makes me wonder if there were going to be, like, more characters you could interact with. Maybe there was actually going to be proper SMT cameos, but then they were like, oh, we don't have time for that. So instead we got Trisha's Who's Who. Another one of those we'll never know, because that's not the final product that we got. Unless somebody who was present for its early development that knew where they were going with it comes out and says, yeah, this is some of the stuff that was going to be in the game, or whatever. We'll never know. And that's fine. Persona 3 is a wonderful game. Woo. And I'm certain there are plenty of other games that are like that, where they had one idea and then due to like time constraints or change in direction, it just, you know, gets put aside in favor of some other thing.
I mean, they had to rush the end of Xenogears to work on Final Fantasy VIII.
Yeah.
But I still think it's fine. I still like that game a lot.
Yeah. Like, there are definitely some games that benefit from direction changes and others that are, you know, not so shining example.
It turns into someone in a chair telling you what happened, and then occasionally you like play through some of it.
Oh.
But I still think it's fine.
That, you know.
I have no idea how long the game would have been if they had kept the like original pace. It's like the first disc for everything for disc 2. It would have been a very, very long game.
Probably should have just attacked regularly. I don't know why I was casting spells on this single target. There we go. Now, there are games that... Okay, well... I say not so shining example, but... BioShock Infinite is just an example of somebody changing their mind constantly. And them going, okay, so is this game ever gonna come out, or...
It's the time travel one, right?
Yeah. That's the one where they're like, time is an ocean. And I'm like, that's a really interesting theory. However, the way you've applied it pisses me off. If time is an ocean, then there should be an infinite possibility of various bookers, but instead you've made it that he either becomes an alcoholic asshole in debt or a literal racist spearheading a super elitist sky country. Like, come on.
Is Booker the name or a title?
It's the name. His name is Booker.
Okay. Okay.
Like, ugh. The game starts so good, but it's so endlessly frustrating because you're literally presented with, yeah, in another universe, Booker becomes super religious and weaponizes his belief into being an incredibly racist and horrible individual.
So did Booker have to go take out the bad one?
Well, yeah, there's that confrontation that he has where he, like, waterboards him and then breaks his nose into the bath that he's sitting in front of. I don't know. I was so, like, oh no, they're the same person, but then it's just like, but then you get to that thing of, like, here's all the different versions of Elizabeth, and then she's like, the only way to get rid of this man ever existing is to kill Booker, because he is a potential, like, turning point of, like, there's a path, there's a reality where he becomes that person, and I'm just like, yeah, but the current one isn't that person. And also, you're heavily- and then fucking Burial at Sea just implies that the only two paths are Comstock or Booker, and it's just like, bro, you literally said time is an ocean. That means that there's an infinite number of potential Bookers, and to fucking base and murder Booker off of the potentiality that he becomes Comstock when there's, you know, possibly one that does something really, really good with his life. And for other people, I don't know. It's just, the game is so limited because it wants to explore this really interesting subject, but instead of it being a situation in which it's like Schrodinger's cat, we instead have Schrodinger's racist.
I see.
And it's so, like, it's so annoying. It's so bad. I hate it so much. The game mechanically is really fun, but the story is just
How do
so...
you have a cohesive narrative with infinite possibilities without just focusing on one of them?
Easy. You don't use that infinite possibilities. Because they wanted to explore the whole ocean thing with the two twins, but they're not twins. They're not even siblings. They're the same person in alternate realities. And it's like, but then why is one reality they're a cis man, and in another they're a cis woman? That is also not how infinite realities work. Like, what is their origin point that we're basing them on if they're the same person? But they wanted just some, like, funky, omniscient people that could just jump between realities as they pleased. But they had to make them human at the same time? I don't know. That game is a confusing mess.
See.
Just like, because I don't know. I don't think an FPS like that was supposed to be the game to explore that type of, like, timeline shenanigan phenomena. Also because mostly, I don't even think it's trying to apply an existing theory, it's trying to come up with its own, which especially definitely not the place.
Well, they don't want people to copy it. Well, you don't need a realistic science. You on their own.
I don't know.
You gotta change some of the detail.
I think, I don't know. There's a very big reason behind why Zero Escape and the Somnium Files are visual novels with gameplay in between dialogue segments, rather than something, like, actively, like, relatively high octane, like an FPS would be. Because you force this first-person shooter game to have downtime where characters converse amongst each other, and that breaks up the pacing of the game. Whereas for a visual novel, it's like, the gameplay is just something to do between...
Wait. So, that game it's just like Zero Escape. You think you're in an ocean, and then you're not.
No, you're not. But yeah. Oh, man. I just... It's one of those games where I'm like, I love the first two. One is obviously, like, like... BioShock 1 is crowning achievement. This is just a really good game that everybody should at least see someone play once, because it is so good. It's not perfect, not by a long shot, but I like the twist. I like the world building and stuff like that. The setting is also quite cool. The final boss is probably my least favorite thing because it's kind of stupid, but but it's just a really solid experience start to finish. And I don't dislike 2. I know a lot of people don't like 2, but it's fine. I don't think it's as good as 1, but like again, it's mechanically an improvement from the prior game. There's cool things to do in it, for sure. And then Infinite is like, yeah, here's some really good battle mechanics. The Vigors are just like the maximum like upgrade of Plasmid where they're not super overpowered victory button. They don't instantly kill everything you throw them at. It's just a good way to like mix up your combat. Guns good, melee attacks are good. It's just very fun mechanically, and then the story is just like, bruh.
Just skip the story.
I mean,
or
yeah.
will I not let you?
I mean,
Will you skip
cutscenes are not skippable because they're real time. And dialogue isn't advanced by pressing a button, so you have to wait for the characters to talk. I also understand that a lot of people don't like, the alternate timeline of the Vox Populi that you go to briefly on accident. Like, it's kind of like Bravely Default versus Bravely Second, which is a weird comparison, but that's also an example of a game where you're like, you have a really interesting concept, and then, you take that and go, what if it was the opposite? So the whole thing is, in the first game, it's like your choices matter. Even though you as a character don't really have any autonomy from what the people tell you to do, you do ultimately make one choice, and that's whether or not to kill the little sisters or cure them of their whole, like, thing. I don't remember what it is. But it's like, you could choose to harvest them, which would remove the worm thing that allowed them to harvest and consume Adam. And it would get you more Adam in that instance, but it, you know, impacts the story negatively. So there's 3 different endings based on that choice of sparing or killing the little sisters. So that's like, that serves a purpose. It's what makes the narrative really interesting, because it's like you were given a task, but if there was one thing that you were not told you had to do, it was in regards to what to do regarding the little sisters. That was Jack's one thing of autonomy that he could do in BioShock 1. And then in Infinite, it's like, you have choices in the game, constantly throughout. There are moments where you have a moment where you have to pick a choice. But your choices don't matter. Like, nothing you do changes the outcome of anything. There are some that do very minor things, but it's like, those results are negative both ways. So, like, choosing the bird cage or the blue bird for Elizabeth's necklace pendant when she's like, can't decide between the two. That does nothing. It just changes what one she wears throughout the story. Choosing...
Like bird.
choosing to kill or spare that one guy at the museum He dies if you kill him, obviously, but if he survives, then you find later on that he was taken to, like, this prison and was tortured, and now he's kind of in a vegetative state. So it doesn't matter, he doesn't get that guy doesn't get a happy ending, and it's not really a good thing on your conscience either way. Though that one Booker does tell Elizabeth, like, no, what's awaiting him is going to be a fate worse than death, because she thanks him for not killing the guy. That one's like, alright. But then it's like other things, like, I don't think people realize that it doesn't matter whether you throw the winning lottery baseball at the biracial couple or at the standee guy. Like, you could literally choose either and the outcome is the same. It doesn't even impact you negatively whether or not you choose to essentially try to attempt to stone a biracial couple or not, because you just get stopped by the way because of the tattoo on the back of your hand. And that's, like, I guess is supposed to be your first hint of it really doesn't matter what you make Booker do. But, ugh. In what universe would you ever choose to throw the baseball at the couple? You don't really see a result of that, and in fact, the couple comes back and thanks you either way.
Why give you options?
Yeah,
why give you options?
Why give you options? But that's like the whole thing that it wanted to try to be like, oh yeah, your choices don't matter. It doesn't matter what Booker does, because ultimately, that choice, whether or not you get baptized after the war, you're still a terrible person either way. And I'm like, that's fucking stupid. I feel so passionately about this because I'm just so angry. Because people choose to be bad people. Whether or not you fucking got baptized after being traumatized in a war does not determine who you become as a person negatively. That's not like an instant, okay, I'm now gonna become a super asshole or a deadbeat. Like, obviously that decision could lead to the steps that would potentially go in that direction, but by basing it and saying, yeah, this one moment in Booker's life determines whether or not he becomes one or the other of two negatives is... no. Okay, Farm 3 is not done yet. And the solution of killing Booker is by far, like, the dumbest thing. Because, like, there's so many Comptons, you know? How are we gonna get rid of him in every timeline? I don't know. How about it's not our fucking problem? We killed the one in our timeline. Let's just be happy that he is dead.
Throw him in the ocean?
But they're like, oh yeah, the moment he becomes Comstock is based on when Booker gets baptized, so the best way to get rid of all of the Comstocks is to kill Booker at the baptism. But then the fucking Burial at Sea doesn't even fucking obey that! Because in the first chapter, you play as Comstock, but it's the Comstock that accidentally got baby Elizabeth killed in the struggle through the dimensional portal. So he moves to, oh, I forget the name of the place, but Bioshock 1's location in the undersea city. And Elizabeth, I guess because she becomes a timeline vigilante, just goes around and kills whatever Comstocks potentially survive. But we literally just went over in the end of Bioshock that all iterations of him are dead because you drowned Booker. Which means the game literally just goes, yeah, she murdered Booker for no fucking reason, and that especially pisses me off.
But you thought he was gonna be an asshole regardless, so...
Well, I said he was gonna be a bad person, but by bad person I just mean that he doesn't do anything with his life. He's a dead, well, not a deadbeat, but he's like in debt.
Well, he is dead now. But it was what killed him.
So it's, I don't know. They just wanted to have some reason of going like, yeah, there's, in order to try to tie the timeline of the existence of the first and second game existing as opposed to the third game's location. And I just don't think it works. Like, just have it be its own thing, please. If you're like, Burial at Sea is so bad. And that's the thing, that's something
That's continuing the ocean metaphor. It's great.
That's just something that I prefer, though, is just... Because for starters, it's not even that the first chapter of Burial at Sea just spits in the eye of what the main game even fucking did as the ending, because some people like the ending to that game, and it's still insulting to go, yeah, there are still Comstocks around, even though the ending was the smother them in the crib. They killed Booker before he could potentially become Comstock, so Comstock shouldn't exist. Least of all here, of all fucking places.
They're never out of Comstock.
So, you know, Elizabeth goes there, gets that one killed. And then...
I mean, as long as there's demand, they're gonna keep making them.
There's definitely not anymore. I think Burial at Sea fucking killed the series, but also I just am under the impression, because of how much of a stress fest it was developing Infinite to begin with, most people don't really super want to work with the guy, because if he's given total creative freedom, he's going to, you know, he's going to be like, have an idea one day and then change his mind. Because that's how he treated Infinite. It was just unsustainable.
I'm in a demand for bookers. They're gonna keep them at Comstock.
But yeah, what was... Farm Island is developing. I didn't mess up. The fourth one is training, yes? Yes. There he is. And yeah, he needs more ABI because his stats didn't go up. Which actually leads me to maybe we should develop for a few rounds until Wilmon has more camaraderie, so we're not wasting the training just making him mad at us. The other potentiality is to take him out, put him in my party.
That'll keep him from turning evil.
Here's Dynasmon.
Kirbymon's evil, and I like Kirbymon's evil quite a bit.
yeah. BioShock Infinite is a very interesting game full of possibilities that were not seen to fruition because I think any potential idea that they had that could have been interesting got waylaid by, like, I don't know. I just think it's crazy that, you had this game where in your own E3 trailer, the footage that you showed was of completely different stuff from the final product. Because however long that lasted, you just scrapped completely. And because it was worked on by multiple studios who were outsourced, I forgot, so shoot. It was outsourced by multiple different studios within 2K. You had situations where you were telling them overseas that this needed to be done, and then they would do it and make this asset, and then they'd send that asset to the main studio to use, and by that time the guy would have revised what he wanted and would have no longer needed that asset twice over. Like, he would change his mind twice in that period of time, so you just have this money that was spent making this asset or this set of code, and then going, okay, well, we can't use it because he doesn't want that in the game anymore. That's just like, no. You can't do that. It's a waste of money! It basically just means the game cost way more than it probably had to because of how much stuff that got changed. Like, a decent portion of how much that game cost to make goes into how many times they made something that didn't end up being used, because by the time it was made, he had changed his mind and didn't want it anymore. It happens! Obviously, stuff gets scrapped. Sometimes stuff gets scrapped pretty late in development. But, damn, to do that regularly enough, it's like, I would almost just not tell people in the other studios to make this thing because there's no guarantee if he is actually gonna want it by the time it's made. Those poor people. Game development is not easy. And to have constant revisions being made in such short periods of time when you're working with people who cannot be updated quickly enough to warrant doing that is like... But yeah, I've seen it. My overall experience is I don't like BioShock's story. I think it's bad, and Burial at Sea just makes it worse because not only does it just improperly retcon its own ending, which is insane. It tries to find a way to tie itself into the first game, and it annoys me to no end. Because it was almost like they went, what do you mean Booker can't be a good person? And then they went, fine, here, Booker's a good person. Booker is Jack. No, he's not. What?
Yes, he is. I'm pretty sure you told me that before, but that was my guess for the way to tie them together.
Yeah.
As a joke. Real.
Yeah, no, that's actually what it is. Elizabeth fucking dies. Time Hopper Elizabeth dies in order to properly do the whole little sister and the big daddy relationship. And then gives, I don't remember his name's the code word to activate the sleeper agent command in Jack because of all the information that she learns. I don't even frickin' remember the specific details that do that, but I do know that it's not an implication. It is just like the game literally just tells you, yeah, Booker and Jack. Jack is a timeline of Booker, and I'm like, how? Literally?
It's like his ID
how?
that says Jack,
How?
quotation marks, Booker.
I know.
Last name.
I don't remember, but it was like, I think it's because of like these weird fever dreams that Elizabeth has in certain moments in Barrel Sea Part 2. But it's like, what the fuck? It's so bad! Oh my god!
Part 1 just like... Is part 1 just like the planning?
Part 1 is...
Hurting the boat?
Part 1 is you play as quote-unquote Booker DeWitt, but you're actually Comstock. If Comstock didn't successfully take Elizabeth over onto the other side from the portal and got her beheaded, is what it's implied. As a maybe. Decapitated. Instead of just losing her finger. So in his depression of having killed an innocent infant, does not... I guess it's implied he just abandons, I forget the name of the place. It doesn't matter. Skytown. Racist Skytown. He abandons it as its leader, I guess. And then moves to, the undersea one. What names? They escape me. It's like only an insane person who just really wants Booker to have a happy timeline would be content with Booker is Jack. Because Jack is his own character. And to, like, inject another character and say that he is secretly this other character that existed long before BioShock Infinite was even on the table as a potentially existing title confuses and astounds. So yes, I understand that people who do like the ending of Infinite hating Burial at Sea. And Burial at Sea certainly does no favors for the people who disliked its ending. Because they literally just said, okay, you like Booker DeWitt. You wanted him to have a happy ending? Fine, he's Jack. And it's like, that's not a happy ending for Booker because he's not Jack. Jack is someone else. What are you trying to say?
But that's someone people like, so yeah, that is a good ending. For him. As a character.
Yeah, but it's saying here's this other incredibly well-written character that we've made that people enjoy. He is Booker, instead of just actually writing a better ending for that character. It's lazy.
They already wrote it. The ending of the character is the first game. Which should now be titled BioShock Infinite.
Infinite possibilities, except lol JK, there are none. The infinite possibilities just means that there's too many of this terrible person in multiple timelines, so we need to kill you, goodbye.
But there are multiple endings to the first game, so there are more possibilities.
Yeah, your possibility of...
Tell yourself.
Your possibility of going to the surface and taking over the world, your possibility of going to the surface and, well, yeah, your possibility of going to the surface with the little sisters so they can live a normal life, and then you die because...
Water?
Clone.
When did you go underwater?
In the first game, in BioShock 1, you are underwater. There's no, the town of fuck.
So that's how he got there. He was buried at sea, and that's how he. His corpse crash landed into the city.
Also, the whole, like, wanting the giant bird in Infinite to be like, oh yeah, they do the imprinting thing. Like we did with the Big Daddies and the Little Sisters, oh my god. And then, like, I think it's not even in the game itself. There's, like, an external info that's supposed to be, like, the guardian bird is also Booker DeWitt, and I'm like, okay, that one literally how? Who? What timeline? When? But I guess they wanted an explanation as to why in the main game,
So,
similarly
it's like
to a Big Daddy, there's
Assassin's
this
Creed?
giant... I guess.
Or like Assassin's Creed, where like they control other people's bodies? I was thinking that earlier a little bit, but I guess if he is...
But that's the thing, is like, Booker's not controlling the giant bird. It's just the giant bird is Booker, which... Where is Booker in this giant bird? I say giant bird, but it's a humanoid shaped with a bird-like head and giant mechanical winged mechanical monster. And I'm like, where is there even a human being in that? It's not like piloting a mech. Because we kill the Liberty Bird.
Jack? Jack kills himself? In bird form? What are you thinking?
No, see, this is exactly why it doesn't make sense as to why what is fucking Booker also the Big Daddy you play in Bioshock 2? No, because he's a completely different person. Yes!
Maybe I was right the first time. Booker isn't a name, it's a title.
Literally the only constant I didn't mean to use that move to kill that singular enemy. The only constant between the three games that you could actually tie them in is the persistence of a father-daughter relationship. The first two games being like different interpretations. Like they're all three games are different interpretations of it, but the first one is choosing to save the little sisters out of the goodness of your heart. The second one is a programmed condition that is what it started as, but then as time wore on, because there's still a former human being inside the Big Daddy, it becomes an emotional bond rather than an instinctive programmed one. And then in Infinite, it's just Elizabeth is actually Booker DeWitt's biological daughter, ripped from his timeline and put into Comstocks, which is another timeline of Booker's, so still technically that is her father, but not like that one didn't contribute to the process. But technically, because he's Booker, he is her father.
My Booker? Is that what where Booker's in?
Yeah, that's the only thing that remains the same between all the games. Is you play as a male character who, via some point of interaction, whether it is a mechanic that impacts the final, like, ending you get, or an actual, like, plot-driven point. Because it's like, the only plot-related purpose choosing to save the little sisters goes to is towards your ending, in 1. Whereas 2, it's like, the Big Daddy that you play as is actively trying to reunite with the little sister that he's program bonded to. She's gotten older now, but she actually wants to see him as well, because even though it's a program bond that the two of them had, she actually liked him because he treated her well, even though their situation was fucked up because they both were basically human experiments. And so while the initial bond is artificial, they do actually care about each other. Funky is how that game ends as well. Bizarre ass game that BioShock as a series is. And then, but then there's Booker where if they had just focused on this part instead of the timeline bullshit, it would have been more interesting.
When you say Booker, which one are you talking about?
The one you play as in the main game. Booker DeWitt.
So, but that applies to all of them. The awkward relation of being told you need to. I was talking about the Booker Shock. That's what the series is.
Booker Shock Infinite.
The entire series.
BioShock
game.
BioShock Infinite, a game where you realize that all of the characters are Booker DeWitt.
Yes.
But like, whereas in BioShock Infinite, it's the awkward realization of the biological child that you gave up in order to get out of debt and regretted last minute but wasn't able to save in time is the person that you were hired to kidnap. And that awkward realization of having formed a bond with this, at one point at the start, stranger, and having like a decent, like, having a good relation with what was supposed to be your hostage. You kidnapped her, and she's not willing at first. She's a mix between willing and unwilling because she wanted to get out of a room because she was trapped and heavily monitored while in it. Actually forming a bond with that person, and then having the twist be that's actually your daughter. And then if you focused on that aspect and having to explain your situation, or like whether or not Booker tries to excuse his actions, just like explain the truth about what happened to Elizabeth. How that she's actually Annabelle DeWitt, his daughter. That would have been a lot more interesting, but the head development was more interested in trying to explore alternate universes and timelines and shit like that, so that entire plot point just fucking means nothing. I mean, the whole reason why, I don't know. So I'm thinking, like, you could have a different reason for one to keep her in a tower and one to closely monitor her. Besides the incredibly hand-wavy explanation for her ability to open tears between other dimensional timelines. Which is because when she was to go through the portal, Booker, you know, he, like, regretted it and tried to come back for her, and he had, like, that tug-of-war with Comstock, and it severed, the portal closed as they were pulling her back, and he had to let go, because he didn't want Anna to die. It severed her finger, and so it's like, because her finger is in one timeline, but the rest of her body is in another, she now has timeline jumping superpowers. No? What? I could be misremembering, and it could literally just be because she's originally from another timeline, but Booker doesn't have that power, and he's from another timeline, so I think it's supposed to be because her finger is in another reality. But
So she
that's...
can only go to that one reality?
No, she can go to any reality. That's the whole reason why Burial at Sea even happens, is because she can go to any timeline.
But you said there are only 2 timelines.
No, there's the timeline where Booker remains Booker, and the timeline where Booker becomes Comstock. There's just various implementations of how that happens. Because that's the way the game explained it, because even their own game's time is an ocean theory. Even within their own explanation of time is an ocean, time is not actually an ocean, because an ocean would mean there's an infinite possibilities, not an infinite implementation of 2 different identities of one possible person. Because there's... I should not feel justified to even compare it to Zero Escape, because I was gonna say something about Akane being Zero versus not being Zero, but that entirely hinges on whether or not she's dead. And also, Zero Escape wasn't trying to say timeline, the time is an ocean, so literally there's no reason to try to explain it, because it's not that there's an infinite possibilities where Akane is Akane versus Akane is Zero in the first game, because the entire existence of whether or not she's Akane or whether she's Zero ties directly into whether or not she's alive or dead. Which is one possibility. Which garners 2 different results. The timeline where she dies versus the timeline where she survives. But to ensure that she survives in the past, she needs to become Zero. But if she dies, then Zero doesn't exist. Which is why in the original safe ending, or I mean even then, it's once the loop is closed, once they pass that point, alive or dead, Zero disappears, because technically Zero didn't exist. I mean, technically he did, because Zero wasn't really Akane. The person who kidnapped them all, who actually wore the gas mask, was very clearly Santa, but... Oh, All Force Digimon is almost done. And so is Jasmine.
Nice.
But yeah. Ugh. I think Bioshock 1 is super good though, and if you don't want to play any of the others, that's fine. I say 2 is alright. Minerva's Den DLC from 2 is quite enjoyable. My favorite plasmid is in that game. Specifically. No, Booker is not a plasmid.
Okay. Could be. A possibility. I mean, you've just overwritten everything I know about that series with Booker. Did you know that, right?
That's... not the
That's not part of the first game.
Yeah,
That's the one with the timed puzzle where it's like a pipe filling up or whatever.
Yeah, when you hack,
Yeah.
when you hack anything,
Yeah.
it's that minigame.
Yeah.
Some of them
I have to-
are literally like
Well, because
unsolvable,
if I get
though.
every... I get it like every first-person game mixed up if it's something I haven't played. But I do know I've seen some of that.
I played it on stream a
So
very
I
long
wouldn't-
time ago.
I witnessed the origins of Booker.
I should play it again. But if I play it again, I'll probably only play the first one. I do greatly enjoy the second. It's fun being a Big Daddy because that's part of the appeal of 2, I think, is the first game you play is a itty bitty human, which it doesn't matter. On the easiest difficulty, you can melee almost everything to death with the wrench. That's the thing with Bioshock versus Bioshock Infinite mechanically. Bioshock Infinite is a very good game mechanically because it perfects all of the melee and magic, I guess, is because it's plasmids in 1 and 2 and vigors and infinite. And then the melee stuff, like, it's actually well designed. Like, yeah. Mechanically speaking, except on the hardest difficulty where there is, like, a bunch of bullshit because you have paper skin and cardboard bones on the highest difficulty, it's still not that difficult. Like, on normal difficulties, wrench only is incredibly, like, not hard at all to do, so you just melee everything to death. But it's, like, the most useful / powerful plasmid is the first one you get, because it's electricity. Any instance, because you're underwater, you know, you're in an undersea city, there's a lot of water leaks, any type of environmental damage that you can do with your plasmids is an insta-kill. So, shoot lightning at water, everything dies instantly. The fire one is also similar. There are instances of there being gasoline on the ground, and you can just burn people. Like, the game is incredibly easy. Like, it's not easy, but I don't think that game is hard. I mean, I would, like, wrench only is actually kind of difficult to do on harder difficulties because you're so squishy, and having to run up to your opponents to melee them to death is terrifying. But it's like, I don't know. It's not very, like, a Bioshock that feels proper run and gun. Using the vigors to, like, temporarily, like, distract, immobilize, and deal with people. The fire one being treated as a grenade rather than just, like, I shoot beam of fire out of my hand for a split second. Like, how it behaves as a plasmid in 1 and 2. It's definitely, like, they wanted the combat to be good. You do still die to random bullshit in that fucking game, though. But it's like, there's a shield that regens in Infinite, whereas in, the previous games, you just have your HP, so if you take too much damage, you just die. And other stuff like that. Like, you're definitely supposed to... The appeal and also the danger of going after little sisters means that you have to kill a Big Daddy every single time. And they're very powerful, they're just very tanky enemies. There's only one instance very early on in the game where you are told to kill it, and it doesn't even have full HP. So there's only 2 mandatory instances where you actually can choose to save or harvest a little sister. But obviously, saving all the little sisters to get the good ending, you have to fight every area's minimum amount of Big Daddies. They have really good ammo, but it's like, you know, it's a choice of, like, these things are really tanky, they take a lot of resources, so it's like, based on how you want to deal with it. They're also a constantly moving obstacle because they aggro if you get too close to the little sister. So it's like, they'll be in hallways and stuff like that, and you'll have to, like, okay, you know, or they'll be in a room and there's a bunch of enemies that instantly aggro to you. You gotta be careful not to accidentally piss the Big Daddy off, because if he takes any amount of AoE damage, like, say you light the ground on fire, and he just, you know, touches it. He's like, okay, it's time to die, and you're like, ugh. Or like if you use a grenade launcher and he gets caught in the blast, you're just like, okay, I guess we're doing this now.
So you don't want to hit the Big Daddy?
My way of playing the game was I do all of the objectives that I can in a room that is a load zone. So that way there is no possible way that I'm interrupted. I have the maximum amount of resources that I could potentially have. Usually I just waited until I had like a full clip or maximum ammo of my most powerful gun and then just like wailed on it. And it was moments where I had to fight them back to back that I was like, ooh!
So you book and look before you run and gun?
You. Oh, it's Kentaro Swan that I'm doing. She doesn't have the ABI yet. Okay. So back down to Lucky Swan you go. She needs 80 ABI. Oof.
That is very unlucky. That's so high.
Koromon needs basically 100 ABI because they need that stat up. Intelligence. We'll keep Koromon for a little bit longer. But we don't need Jasmine or Old Force Veedramon in the party. So I will move them. And now we're gonna put... Dynasmon in the party. Do I have something else that I want to bring that needs work? I guess there's not. Yeah, I mean, I don't need to have Sistermon beta in, but, you know. Why not, right? Or wait. Actually, that's a good question. Lilimon has to be the one that goes to... Right? I want to see. I'm gonna look it up. No, don't set timer. I don't know why that's even open. I want to see this real quick. What was her name? I actually need to... Oops, that would have been bad. Oh, it's Crusadermon. Yeah, let me just look up how do you get Crusadermon?
Why is Sistermon smoking an invisible cigarette?
I don't know. Can evolve from Nightmon or Magna Angemon. I have an Angemon. Oh no, not an ad. Get out of here. Magna Angemon. Obviously.
Digimon?
Yeah, obviously Digivolves from Angemon. Okay. So it's not Lilimon. But I have an Angemon. Where is he, though? I think he's in... one of my... farms. I have Angelwomon. That's not what I was looking for. I could have sworn I had Angemon. Do I not? Let me see what it takes to make Angemon. Oh, it's another one that comes from Patamon. Okay. that's kind of annoying. Do I have a little guy that he could come from? Pokemon. Well, time to do that. Where is one?
Wouldn't it be better to like devolve something?
Maybe,
That already
but
have skills?
perhaps. Okay, what's...
You think you'd already have ABI
Yeah,
as
okay,
well?
let me see. So I need... Because I need Togemon into Patamon. I don't want to do it from Luchamon. Do I take my sister Mon Beta because she can't Digivolve further? No, because I spent way too much time on that. I have another Lekismon. I have a Lekismon in one of the farms. There she is. Problem is, I'm just gonna have to remember. Well, it's not gonna be for too long.
You know, you can rename one of them.
I could.
Do it.
I'd have to change its name back, but
I'm just a placeholder.
true. What would it be under? Settings? Yes. Why did the entire screen turn white?
Because on the at least on the Vita, there's the keyboard on screen.
I see. Do you see the screen turning white? Because OBS doesn't see anything.
Yeah, it's just a white screen with the name and your mouse cursor.
Okay. What should we name this Lekismon?
2? Just out of 2 again.
Lekismon 2. Okay. Devolving it will change its name, though, won't it?
I have no idea. I never changed any of the names when I played.
Okay, so it only goes to level 41. Let me see what skills Lekismon can learn. Cross counter at 25. Okay, that's fine. Cross counter is actually pretty good to have fairly early on.
We have strenuous 2 battles maximum.
These are all gonna be off from one another, but that's... oh, it's whatever. Refreshed for 600. So technically we have our next... oh yeah, we got Dynasmon. So the only one I'm missing is Crusadermon. I don't know how to get him yet. I could probably figure it out just by looking it up online to see what ones I have to backwards into. Not Crusadermon. What is his name? The one that looks like it comes from Gaomon, which is probably one of the ones that I have to mess with. It's gonna bother me, so I'm gonna look at it right now. They'll be near the bottom. Can't get this guy. Leopardmon. Leopardmon's the only one I don't know. But I get the feeling that he's from Galgamon. I've not fought him in battle, so he's not gonna show up in here. Oh, a large capacity USB? That's wonderful. That is just something that I remember. Yeah, this guy doesn't. Their cap's a lot lower, so already when I get to the bottom, I have to I have to devolve them.
Right.
Leave the lab, and I guess now we'll find out if, because I changed Lekismon's name, whether or not that'll do anything. I have to change it to, I believe it's Sister Mont Blanc. Blanc.
I think it's just blonde.
Oh, her name stayed. That's kind of awkward.
Yeah, just name it to, whatever your final Digimon is. Change the name now.
Oh, okay, well, that fixed it. I guess if they just back out, it resets their name.
Oh. Well, that time it was just a little box in the screen. The whole screen didn't turn white.
Why did the whole screen turn white in that
know.
instance?
I have no idea. But yeah, anytime you have to input text, that's how it is on the Vita. Well, not every time. There are some games that have like a game text input, but like the general system wide on the Vita. Same with like save files. Like some have like a system save file, and then other ones have like an in-game one. Like this game. Like on the Vita, the save menu is kind of like, it's somewhat similar to this, I believe.
Okay, keep Crescentmon for a little while, and then we're gonna go back down to Lekismon. When Farms is done doing stuff. I guess since we're here, I guess I could look up what it takes to make Gallantmon, make sure it doesn't do anything crazy. I get the feeling that I know. Oh no, Gallantmon is the other one. What am I thinking? It's not Gallant. Gotta go back to the bottom so I can look at him. Leopardmon, that's what I'm thinking of. Gallantmon's the one that I need the Gwilmon for. This guy. Ah, I wonder if it's possible to make Alphamon, but I'm not gonna bother with that immediately. I haven't seen him yet, so there's not really... I mean, obviously he should be able to be made, but... He digivolves from... Leopardmon LM. Okay. That's different. So there's... It's like Satan... It's like Satamon... Or not Satamon. Luchamon. Satan mode. They're all called Luchamon, but there's like different forms of them.
The LM stands for Luchamon.
Can this ad load so I can actually get to the page that I want to be on? Leopardmon digivolves from... Leopardmon! Wait. Oh, here we go. Wait, I'm confused. Okay, Grappleomon.
What?
Do I have a Grappleomon? No. But I have a... Do I still have Boncholeomon? Because if I still have Boncholeomon, then I can just evolve him. Ooh, it's not looking like I do.
The one that you sacrifice?
I don't know if that one will work. Mach Gaudamon. Okay, let me look. He doesn't have ABI 20. But I could make him regular Leomon. And then just see what he needs to become. Because Rapleomon digivolves from regular Leomon, as well as Galgamon and Gardramon. So it's possible. Okay, level 26 and he needs 95 attack. That's easily achievable. So let me grab him. Can he fit in my party? He can.
You had to grapple him on. So did that Leomon turn into your Kirpymon? Is that what happened?
I don't know. Those were Antilamon.
Do those come from
Leomon? No, they don't.
Okay.
Because Antilamon is intelligence built Digimon, and the Leomon line are all physical, I believe. So we've got the makings of Gallant, Kentaros, Crusader, though that one's gonna take the longest, I think, and then, Leomon. I think those are all the ones that I can make. I mean, knowing that Alphamon NX is a thing means that Alphamon is probably out there, but I genuinely don't know if I should make him, seeing as we haven't seen him yet. Whereas all the others...
Stumble into some bad... We have to stumble into a bad world domination thing if you make all of these.
Missed. We level up so quickly. It was worth getting the platinum. I forget what these Numamons.
Bless you.
Thank you. There might be another one though.
Bless you.
Thank you. Ugh. Oh, dang. Oh. And I gotta bring them down to Pokemon, then to Patamon, then to Angemon. Yes. So we're probably gonna need 80 ABR, so I may as well just hang on to him until... East Spirit of Flame. She still needs the ABI. She's leveled up some, so I guess I can bring her back down. Oh, yeah, we're nearly there. Maybe one more up and down. Okay, there's Grapleomon, and... there he is, that's the one. ABI 80, oof. Well, also, Intelligence 120, which is kind of evil, but Gallantmon needed Intelligence too, so I guess I'll just throw them both in the same farm to train up their intelligence. I'll probably have to put limiters on that defense, and that HP, but shouldn't be too bad.
It'll be a breeze.
Pokemon, which you gotta go into Patamon, and it's par for the course that they all want 80 ABI, I think. So maybe I won't even try to get him up to Angemon until... no, I should get him to Angemon, but I should, you know.
You gotta remember all this stuff, right?
Yeah, sometimes it takes a
Yeah, 'cause
second, but
I was gonna suggest you can name them. Take that as use the names as a reminder cheat sheet.
call them their,
Yeah. Your plans to do what you want to do with them. That's what I would do if I cared about going beyond just getting the trophy for having 200 or however many.
oh, I'm hitting a wall. So both Gallantmon and Leopardmon are intelligence checks. And Dynasmon's already been made. Yeah, Kintarasmon doesn't require anything that Crassamon wouldn't be able to do. It's just getting Tokamon up to, up close enough to see what, not Gallantmon, Crusadermon asks for. But I do like your idea, even though I don't think I'll have any trouble remembering. I just like the idea of having a Tokamon be named Crusadermon. You do it right now.
Probably misspell it because to avoid copyright infringement.
Like what, I put it in air quotes? Oh, it doesn't fit at that point.
Good enough.
Kentarosmo.
Well, you don't want to get sued.
Toko is going to be Crusader. And Grapleomon is Leopardmon. Beautiful.
Okay, I'm going down to see.
Beautiful. see what it takes to make Alphamon, if I even can. Just to see him. It'd be really funny if I had him and then they were like, we need to summon Alphamon, and I'm like, already got it. Don't worry, guys. I've got you covered. See, look. I'm sad that I literally can't make one of them, which is why I'm under the impression there has to be another one that I can't make, and Alphamon would be the one that makes sense that I can't make it, but... He needs 80, so I'm actually gonna, like, hold off for a little bit. 63, and just to be sure, yeah, he needs ABI 80, and Camaraderie 50%, and that 140 intelligence that he is not going to get normally. What a silly looking guy. Cam, 10%! Ugh, I forgot about that.
Might be able to do those items.
Yeah. Let me see, do I have a friendship EX item already? I might. I do. Oh, there you go. Give me Patamon, please. Alright, what does it take to make Angemon? Next to nothing. It doesn't require anything special. What a cute little guy.
It's like, looks like some rejected concept art from the wrong one in.
I love seeing the air quotes around the...
I mean, they're not air quotes, they're written.
Yeah, true. I like seeing the quotation marks around the,
Sometimes singular quotation mark.
Yeah, sometimes singular. Because some of them have really long names. I can't fit quotes at the start and end.
Oh fuck, is it the one that they had to change the name for, is that because it's too long?
Omegamon? I wouldn't think so.
I couldn't remember the name. I was like, maybe there's a character limit for one of these, where they had to shorten it.
Yeah, I mean, that's actually a thing in Pokemon that's funny. There's a third form starter from Johto because of the character limit in the game being so low. They couldn't fit all of the letters, so they just removed one. And they've never fixed it. They've decided to keep it like that. So, in Johto, the water starter, Totodile, his third form is Feraligatr, but that's one too many characters. So they just removed the O in Gator, and it's still pronounced Feraligatr, but it ends with G-A-T-R.
Why wouldn't they just take out one of the L's?
Cause I don't know. I mean, they only had one L in it already. So I guess they had to remove two, but they just removed a vowel, and they didn't change its name. It's like, yeah, good enough. And to this day, for alligator is still spelt with that missing vowel between T and R. There's no reason for it to be that way anymore. They just they won't change it. His name had to be spelt like that, literally because of the character limit. Now, the character limit, I think, is like...
Change it yourself.
I could.
Reinstate the extra missing letter.
Nickname it for alligator.
I don't know.
Scare everyone. I mean, Totodile is one of the starters in the upcoming Pokemon game. Legends ZA, I think is what it's called. I didn't play Legends Arceus because I chose the desire of wanting the Gen 4 remake. But I don't know, maybe I'll get Legends ZA sometime and I'll but Chikorita, yeah, okay, well. My favorite grass starter. Well, not my favorite grass starter, but my favorite Gen 2 starter. I like Chikorita. I know it's not a very strong starter, but I like the little grass dinosaur. People hate her, though. And I don't think people even know why. They just like Chikorita. Well, I kind of have an idea as to why they don't like him, but... I don't think it's quite the one video that I was randomly suggested about it. Could be. I didn't click on the video, so I don't know. But it was something like, is the Chikorita hate based in misogyny? And I was like, that's a bit of a reach. But then I remembered that the show specifically had it that Ash had a girl Chikorita, and she really likes Ash. Is incredibly fond of him, and like there are a couple of episodes where especially after evolving into Bayleaf, is like a bit of a bully to other Pokemon. But it's like, it's not like Totodile didn't also like use moves on Ash. Like Totodile, I'm fairly certain, bit Ash, and Charizard was also a Pokemon that he just had struggled to control in the show, and people thought Charizard was cool as hell, and I'm like, yeah, but he was also, I mean, he was powerful, but he was really lazy. But it's like, it was specifically that he had a girl Chikorita, and the Chikorita was obsessed with him, which I'll admit is a very strange character personality trait to apply to a Pokemon. But also the concept of Pokemon has gotten really weird. So I remember somebody had a clip of the new show where somebody's Sprigatito, which is a little grass cat from Scarlet and Violet, its third form, Meowscarada, is bipedal. And there's like this animation in the show where it does a full body cat stretch, but then stands upright and gets out of bed like a person. Because it's bipedal and it's about 4 feet tall. Very short human. But it's like, yeah. And then there's the whole, like, their intelligence isn't that much lower than a human's. Not an avenue to mean anything, but I just think it's kind of bizarre how the show handles it. But I also think just, yeah. Back to Chikorita. I think some people don't like her because of the show. But it's like, come on. And as for the games, I guess stat-wise, it's not as impressive, and in terms of design, people like Totodile and Cyndaquil more, even though they're all fairly simple. But there's also a bigger favoritism to fire and water starters than there are grass. But it is interesting. People thought Bulbasaur was cute. People did not like Chikorita at all. And then people thought Trico and his line was cool, even though stat-wise he's arguably in some categories worse than Chikorita's line, because he doesn't have the tankiness that Venusaur and Meganium have, because he's more of a speed-based grass type. And then people really liked Torterra, but that's because they gave a secondary typing to Torterra. Big tortoise with a tree on his back. Very cool design. And then for Gen 5, people liked Superior, because it's a snake. And then, after that, I don't know. I don't see many people leaning either way to Chestnut. He's kind of like an armadillo, I guess you could say. Kind of? And then, Rillaboom is the Sword and Shield. I didn't use him. Turns out he's actually very good in current gen competitively as a support Pokemon. He's probably the best design of the three in that gen, though. And then, Meowscarada in the newest gen. Bipedal cat dancer. Masquerade dancer. That's the pun. I think grass types are cool. I like grass types. They're my favorite typing in Pokemon, but...
I don't like them. I'm looking this up. I'm like, who voices this, Chikorita? It's not Laura Bailey. Or Laura Bayleaf, as she would have been known. Someone else. One I've never heard of.
No, that can't be a reason why you don't like Chikorita.
That's my exact reason.
No! That's so sad.
You literally just said they named everything after puns, and they didn't name that one after that pun. So.
Well, yeah, but that's because their name is literally Bayleaf.
Yeah, but they know that Laura Bailey voices everything. They should have. So yeah, I don't click on videos that are clickbaity.
Yeah. I mean,
Sometimes.
I kind of understand where just based on the title alone and the thumbnail, where they were coming from. Because it's like, yeah, specifically Ash's Chikorita is a girl. And there's that whole, like,
if I know the
jealousy
answer
thing.
from the...
She uses Body Slam on him out of excitement and stuff like that. There's actual episodes where Ash has gotten annoyed at her because of how, like, needy for physical affection she is. So it's like, I could see a kid looking at that and going, I dislike Chikorita because of the emotional attributes that were given to the Pokemon in the show. But, like, for people who don't like her and didn't watch the show, it literally just boils down to they liked the little crocodile and the little, I guess it's a hedgehog better. Than the little dinosaur. It's a dinosaur. That's the thing. They're missing out because Chikorita literally is like a Brontosaurus in final form. It's literally the only one that's a dinosaur between the three. But Feraligatr is cool. I do like me Feraligatr. He's pretty funny looking, and a lot of people like Typhlosion.
Does Laura Bailey voice any of these?
No, I don't think so.
Then-
Mostly because I'm
then-
almost certain that there
Great.
is no English voice acting for the Pokemon now. Now more than ever. I kind of want to see what this is. Like, bring him up and then bring him down. Let's get these new ones. Okay, what is this guy actually?
That looks like somebody stuck a Lego head on like something other action figure.
Okay, this one feels like it's supposed to come from Volcanomon. Because he's got the same thing going on in the back, with the volcano on his spine. Yeah, I need 80 ABI. Alright, well, there's Lucky Swan. And then our dear friend Gallantmon needs to go back down. I think 48 is fine. Yeah, 76. Honestly, he might have it. Maybe put him down one and then back up to ensure that, because if I bring him up and then it doesn't put me at 80, that'll be annoying. Yeah, this is what I need next. Max SP is 80? Oh no, that's fine, I'll hit that pretty easily. Intelligence 80. That's also going to be easily achievable. I mean, it's Angemon. I'm running out of room. Okay, let's see. How much SP? Okay.
Do I have enough to spend 600 yen and you make 3,700 in the first battle against one?
I mean, that's kind of like, I don't know. That's sort of the funniest part about RPGs that take place in like a pseudo or just like an adjacent real world city. Like, we're actually in Japan in these games, because it's like you make so much money, and for like for the main character's age typically in these types of settings, so like The World Ends With You, later Personas, not even later Personas, just Persona, Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth. It's like, That's a suspiciously large amount of money for someone your age to have in the games. Nobody bats an eye.
I mean, you don't tell anyone. Like, get me out your mom, you're in a coma.
I've seen some people like try to like logic it out of like how that would work, and there's no solution that doesn't demolish the economy or get you investigated. Like, put it in a bank, instantly getting flagged. Like, hey, this high schooler just put like 6 million yen in opened a bank account and filled it with 6 million yen. You would get investigated immediately. And there's no, you can't explain it. It's like, oh, where'd you get all this money? And it's like, oh yeah, this, I mean, in this world, at this current point in time, maybe. But in Persona, absolutely not. But what did you say?
I mean, the Date knows, and the other detective guy knows. So they'd have your back. And in at least Persona 4, doesn't the blacksmith dude know what you're up to?
No. I mean, even
though
he
did.
Even though
you bring in weird ass materials, he's probably gonna figure something out that's going on.
Maybe, probably. But no, it's literally just like, I only make stuff if you bring me items, and then you're like, okay, here's like this shimmery goop or whatever fucking thing that you can get off of a shadow, and he's just like, ooh.
Kurosawa in 3 knows what you're up to.
Yeah, vaguely. He doesn't really know what exactly it is that you're doing, just that what you're doing is helping.
And it's not like you're pulling out all 6 million just to pay for lunch.
True. It's literally only in situations of like, wait, Examon is a Royal Knight? I don't know, I guess Data? Well, now that I know Examon is a thing. But I've not seen him before, so I guess like Alphamon, I'm not gonna mess with it. We'll see him eventually, maybe. Oh yeah, I remember what I was gonna do. What are the level caps on everybody? Well, I'm going backwards for this guy, because I need 80 out of 80. Maybe I can go up with quote-unquote Gallenmon. Because now everyone's level caps are back high up, but I guess just go until Kirbymon runs out of SP.
It's not the 2 of the detectives know what's up.
Yeah,
the detective agent.
Yeah, I guess in the only instances in which it would be suspicious on a government level is like, don't put it in a bank and don't buy a house. Especially in the ones where you're like a high schooler. Especially in 5 because you already have a criminal record. But in like 4, you go back to the city and you're like, hey mom and dad, here's however much money you have, or do you like split it amongst your friends and you go, here, take this, please spend it wisely.
You ever see the movie Blank Check?
I've not.
Well, it's a Disney movie about a kid who gets a blank check, so he just writes in this absurd amount, pretends to be an adult, by using like a computerized voice. Names himself Macintosh. I figured that's what they would do with all their money. He buys like a giant mansion, I loved that movie when I was a kid, and I'm afraid to watch it because I don't think it holds up.
It sounds like the type
I'm sure I'll be very let down.
It sounds like the type of movie where you go, yeah, maybe not. There's a couple, like, I've had a couple of instances of that where I'm like, I remember this movie really fondly, and then I rewatch it and I'm like, The ones that I know probably won't happen, where that won't happen, is the animated Lilo and Stitch, because I have to make a differentiation now. And like How to Train Your Dragon, the first one.
And Garfield, you have to also get a distinction for Garfield.
I don't know if Garfield the movie holds up. It's probably it's probably funny, but I don't know if it's good.
Depends on which version you watch. Full screen or the widescreen.
My favorite encounter. When it's 3 of them. My least favorite encounter. When it's 1 of them. Actually, this isn't my least favorite encounter. I don't like it when it's just the 2 Cyclone Mons. They give more EXP, but they don't give as much as the 3. And it's faster, therefore to use SP to try to kill it in 1 turn. Whereas for the single target one, I can just use a basic attack. And I can save that SP for when another 3 appear, because that gives the most.
Yeah, but yeah, but there are 3s when you miss.
I suppose that's also true. Better, higher risk, higher reward.
There are an ocean of possibilities.
Of course, of course. I just realized I might sound really weird in this recording because my microphone's like way high up in the air. I don't know why it's above me. Maybe okay, there, that might be better. Hopefully I didn't mumble.
I didn't notice a big difference.
Hey, Examon is a data type. Convenient that Datamon asked that question. I don't think Datamon is a data type, though.
What? Then data should be in quotation marks. Your name, shoot.
He might be. It'd be really fun if he wasn't.
The one with the giant brain exposed isn't brainy.
Right.
You, the one you're fighting right now, not brainy. Or the one you had wasn't brainy.
Okay, sleep barrier. Yeah, see? Let's go! This encounter ensures that this was not my last fight before I have to leave. And it's still a solid 5,000.
If only you coughed up that 600 gear.
And now my final encounter is the trio. I'm gonna have so many medals to give to the Metal Man.
Now, the Metal Man is the one the government's gonna be investigating. Like, how could you have so much money to spend on metal? $200 yen. What? I didn't know it varied.
thought maybe it was something... maybe because only Kirpymon?
Possibly.
Okay. So here's... Yeah, there's Crusadermon. ABI 80.
Oh.
And Cam 50. Well, ABI is not quite there yet.
Well, you do have another plus 25 item. Don't you?
Yes, I do. However, ABI is not 80, and I can't manipulate that artificially.
I'm just saying you don't have to have them in battle.
Yeah. Heck yeah. Now I just need to get her level up. I also need to make sure when she learns everything. Because the minimum level is 60. And then there's the specific stats. I have gotten her up quite a high level before, though, so she might already know everything.
I like the one princess cap on each ear. Fine.
Alright, he is at ABI 80. Which means I can put him back in the farm because he needs high intelligence. The other one's not ready yet, though. Which one is it? It's Leopardmon. Yeah, ABI 80. So we still need some AV on him, and he needs some artificial intelligence ups. But I can move our beautiful future Gallantmon back into this farm island. He'll still be developing stuff. Well, actually, no. It might actually be better to put him in the bank so he doesn't gain any EXP until it's time to train.
But I thought that didn't matter. Didn't we try that once? Putting him back down to level 1 to hope it would go faster, and it didn't matter?
I guess. You know, yeah, that might actually be the case. Alright. Well, I'll leave a slot.
If I'm remembering correctly, I think that's what it was.
Yeah, we'll see. Alright. So now we just need Leopardmon to have the correct ABI. And then I'll probably put on a defense limiter, so that way intelligence can go up a bit more. And hope that that's... because I need 120. Let me look at... where is he at? There he is. Oh. Yeah, he just won't have... he won't have 120 intelligence unless I artificially buff it. But I don't have to buff it by too much. I just, you know, would prefer not to hang on to him until he's level 99 for him to reach it. I would prefer something around, like, 65, maybe. At least.
Yeah.
Maybe 70. So if he needs 120, then he'll need, I can't...
25?
Yeah, something like that. I'll need 20... oh, yeah, 25. I don't know why I... okay. And then for... it's not Growlmon, it's War Growlmon. Gallantmon requires 140. Oh yeah, we definitely already determined that there was no way in hell it was happening naturally. So he needs a lot of intelligence.
Those are some really happy knees you got there. Look at him. Look at him go. Why is that a giant smile?
I like the Digimon where you can tell they're like naturally progressing like similar forms, but I also enjoy the ones that are like, yeah, let me look completely different. What part of... it's an interesting thing. Maybe it's to appeal to young boys, but so many Digimon turn into mechs or become semi-mechanical. And I get it, they're like originally, you know, data. They're not... They're like coding stuff. They're somewhat electronic in nature in that regard by default, but it's really funny how so many of them turn into mechs very quickly. There's very few that they're like, there's a decent handful who don't. I was right, Datamon is a virus type, but he wasn't a data type.
Why?
I don't know why. Like, there are a few that don't, but there's quite a few that do, just are, like, machines. What determines that? They just go like, yes. I should save. And I guess I could look in... Well, I don't want to get too into it, but I might look into Alphamon and Examon while we get the intelligence up on the others, because it seems like we're gonna get Kentaurosmon fairly imminently. And, it sounds like Crusadermon's not gonna require anything fancy outside of the ABI and the camaraderie.
You're gonna refer to them as your imminence when you do get them?
No, probably not.
Good.
Okay, so we have all these guys are, yeah, level 99. Oh, I didn't check if she needed camaraderie. I don't think she does, but oops. So I guess the threshold of let's leave the area is, I guess, we run out of SP or Dynasmon hits their level cap. I get the feeling Kirbymon's gonna run out of SP before Dynasmon hits their level cap, but you never know. I'm getting a lot of EXP every fight, but he is also going to be asking for like 30,000 when he's in the 90s range.
Digimon will never see battle.
There's quite a few that never have and never will. And the ones that are going to still haven't. Dynasmon came from a Digimon that I never used, and still he has not actually been in active combat despite being in my party. With luck, he will. I can craft my team of Holy Knights and Kirbymon. I have so many Dark Guard DXs because of the number of times I've fought Vadermon. Vademon? Vademon.
Maybe you should sell them so you don't get 99, make them all go to waste.
Yeah, probably should. I mean, I did at one point already, so... But it's probably getting around the time where I should do that again.
I get 99 Digimon medals as well.
That's also possible. I do need to be checking. Might have to leave the lab entirely to go to Metal Man.
You're not gonna get that much money, it's gonna be worth it though. He does not pay fair price.
No, he does not. I mean, some of them aren't that rare, but... That's the first time I fought the 2 Cyclone Mons, and those 3 haven't immediately leveled up at least once. That did significantly less than I thought that would. Oh, honestly, just attacking it normally does about the same as using magic. Alright. Oof, that was not necessary, but that did a lot of damage. Oof.
I think what happened is they just tied that armband really tight, and that's why the one hand is bigger. Because it just...
Blood pressure.
Yeah.
That's not good. I have to undo that.
I think lived very long in fights. To experience any long-term negative health effects.
They could also be closer to crabs than we realize. Because you know, with the Crusher Claw and
the crab eat the
Cyclone Dramon are all just they're actually secretly crustaceans.
What was the crab eating that I sent you? Was it a grape?
It was a grape.
Okay, it was a lighter grape. They would eat grapes with such
I mean, the thing
enjoyment.
Maybe. The thing with, like, crustaceans is they are... I mean, they're invertebrates as well, in a sense. They have the same, or at least very similar stuff going on with them that insects do. They don't have bones. They don't have lungs. So they have an exoskeleton, And they have, well, maybe it's not always the case, but crabs and lobsters have a really unique diet in which they can eat anything. They probably shouldn't eat some of the things that they get their claws on, but they do eat. They're omnivorous. They're, especially lobsters in adult stage and crabs in almost any stage, they primarily feed off of smaller animals and other debris and plant life that's at the bottom of the ocean. Near shores, because they are semi-aquatic. Or at least...
Oh, so they wouldn't be far enough to eat Booker?
No. Lobsters maybe, but crabs no. Because crabs spend a decent portion on land as they do in the water as well. Whereas lobsters are deeper in the ocean. Lobsters don't go on land. But that has something to do with the unique life cycle of lobsters. It's kind of crazy how similar the two are on a physical level, but in terms of, like, their lifespan and how they live is varied. So, like, for crabs, crabs will stick close, like baby crabs will stick close to their parent figure, but it can be dangerous because, so, like I said, with crabs, they'll eat anything. If mom gets hungry and doesn't want to find something, she can and she will just reach over the back and grab one and go, alright, I'm hungry. You didn't get away from me. Prepare to be eaten. Because there's weird little guys like that. But for, like, lobsters, they just drop their eggs in the ocean. And a decent portion of why... I didn't mean to do that. A decent portion of why lobsters are so... like, they have so many regulations when it comes to fishing for them. Like, you can't take them if they're too small, you can't take them if they're too large, and you can't take them if they are a female with either a notch in the tail or actively have eggs. You have to toss them back. And the notch is the signifying, if you catch it when they don't have eggs, that it's a female that lays eggs. It's because most of the life cycle of a lobster is spent being so tiny that you are just the thing that everything else eats. Like, zooplankton is plankton, or like almost microscopic animal life forms. So, like, generally plankton is usually like plant matter, but zooplankton is specifically animals. Most of what makes up zooplankton is baby lobsters, because they're just that small. And it's only once they survive long enough to reach an adult phase that they sink to the bottom, and they stay down there. So it's really hard to reach that stage as a lobster. So that's why fishing conservation, to preserve them so that way we can continue to harvest and eat the adults, is so important. Why it's done like that is because if we just took all the adults and we didn't care about what their sizes were, we would just run out of lobsters, because their life cycle is so brutal that it's like, it would be really bad to not have those regulations in place. So now you know. Despite both being crustaceans and being very similar, lobsters and crabs are very different in where they live and how they grow up. Obviously, I don't think all crabs are the same. There are probably some variances, but I don't know. At least lobsters don't have to deal with... Well, actually, no, that's not true, because lobsters at times will actually eat zooplankton, but it's not like a matter of mom plucking you off her back to just eat you because she doesn't want to look for something herself. How you doing?
Doing good.
You got really quiet when I started talking about crabs and lobsters.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. I was just like, yeah, it was a weird topic shift, huh? Okay, one more. Shining Aura. Or whatever the move is called. Shining Laser. And it was used on a good encounter. I didn't check to see how much that one cost. Health capsule, revival, and I'll sell the master discs because I don't need all those master discs. I don't need that many, believe it or not. They sell for a lot too, so not that I need money.
Just going to buy the ABI items in the Game Plus.
Okay, I need... Right, ABI 80. He's level 68. It's probably safer to just go back down to Angemon than it is to look at Ankylomon. Okay, so he's not gonna be 80 when he goes back up, I don't think. What are we missing? Speed. We need a little bit more speed. Currently at 128. And we need 150? Yeah, 150. I think I don't need to mess with her stats artificially. No, we need ABI 80 on this one too. Okay, what are you actually? Which is a really interesting question, but doesn't really matter. But we need to go back to Grappleomon. Oh, actually, that's kind of interesting. I could go, I could go down to Pangemon, and then to Regularlyomon, and then back up to Grappleomon. That would be something I could do, technically. I'm gonna do it right now. But yeah, let me see. So I need 150. She's currently level 68. So what level would she have it?
About 90. You get one per level.
True. Do I wanna wait that long? We're 95. I mean, she's level 68. That's good. It's gonna take a little bit, but it'll allow me to not be solo working on a Holy Knight. Potentially.
I mean, solo leveling is better than One Piece, at least.
Because we must always take the
Actually,
we have to take
actually,
the
that's not
top
true.
10.
Actually, that's not true. I think One Piece overtook solo leveling.
Yeah, because it came back. Which is exactly what that is exactly what I was talking about. When it happened, solo leveling, Twitter was like, oh yeah, One Piece, it's falling off, and it's like, I don't expect all people who watch solo leveling to know that One Piece is on hiatus, but One Piece is on hiatus, guys. And it's not anymore, so.
Yeah, because a new solo leveling was finishing up. It knew when to come back.
They needed to let little bro have his moment in the spotlight before they overtook it again.
Oh no, they knew they couldn't compete.
But yeah, the new episode, another episode came out this week for One Piece. We're back to weekly episodes.
I thought they were daily.
Nope.
Hourly? Hourly.
Yeah, just I don't know. That would be pretty impossible to do. I mean, I suppose if you never took a break, which is not possible. Like
24 every day, but like they air hour during the 5 or so hour block with alternate between episode of that and solo leveling.
I don't think solo leveling would repeat itself like how many times over?
40.
Yeah.
Actually, no, like 60. 60? Would it be 60?
Maybe. I don't know how many episodes there are.
50. I think there are 24. There was 12 in season 1, so I'm guessing season 2 has roughly 12.
Truly is the question this time around. Okay, so Dynaspawn is now asking for 30,000. He'll probably be asking for 35 once he gets to 95. Will he get there before Kirpymon runs out of SP? I don't know. I don't know so, and I don't think so.
For a second, I thought Leopardmon, the side of their face, was the mouth, like the red line.
Oh.
And then like the other eye was covered by like the quotation, the name. Like it wasn't a profile shot. I'm looking right at the camera, but head tilted.
does Nightmare do on this guy? Oh, more. It's just Vademon I can't use Nightmare on, because it's also a Dark type, that's right. And our future Kantarosmon, they won't reach level 95 by the time Corgimon runs out of SP. They'll be close, though.
Wait, didn't you have some extra from the farm?
Extra what?
Intelligence.
For who?
The one you need 180 for. I don't know their names.
For future.
But you need 180 intelligence, right?
For Gallantmon, I think so, yeah.
But didn't you have some already? So it would have been closer to level 90 than 95, I think.
Maybe.
When you looked in the field guide, that would be if it didn't have any extra intelligence. But I thought it had some.
Yeah, he's got
105
right now, but also this one I have to go
22.
down. I might still give him some extra. Cause yeah, he'd have to go back down to Grapleomon first.
Or no, it was 120, right? Wait.
Yeah, for this
no.
one. For this one, it's.
Which?
I don't.
What was the other
remember.
one? You needed to get a 90. Or 95, you thought?
It would be this one because we learned that for Gallantmon it just isn't physically possible for Wargrowlmon. He doesn't even get to 100.
This is the one that's 77. Was it that one?
I don't remember.
You were at like level 68. And you...
I'd have to look again.
No, I'm pretty sure it's the one that was that one.
Oh, we're doing a combo. Hit all three of them. Usually it tells you immediately if it misses. Five more levels for Dynasmon. And then I'll have no Royal Knights in my party, actively. Technically I do already, because of their names, but... Full revival spray. Another benefit to doing the grinding. I'm gathering items for use in battle. Because,
You'll never need.
well, I might need the full revival spray.
So strong. Get anything? Something's gonna kill you.
You never know.
I do know. Unless you auto battle. Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
Okay, we've got at least 3 more battles. Dynasmon's level 95. Yippee! Oh, he's not asking for 35 anymore. Still. Maybe it is just 30,000. I mean, a little above. Maybe the final level is 35. I don't know. I interrupted the sound effect by pressing the menu button twice. I didn't know I could do that.
Do it again.
Oh, it's because I skipped the animation of the menu popping up by pressing it twice.
Oh.
I see. And the sound effect being tied to the animation. That makes sense. I didn't know you could do that. I didn't know you could skip that.
Man, that is gonna revolutionize the speedrun.
Yeah! That I'm definitely doing. Soon. 10 more. Okay, 74. Camaraderie, that's pretty good, actually. Not quite the ABI that I need, but... Right, I need 80 ABI. Oh, yeah, that's right. Said I was gonna do this. Go to Panjamon. Would he be... He would be 80 if I did this, right? If I went down to Leomon, and then went up to grab Leomon, I'd have the 80. Oh, yeah, I do. Yeah, there we go. Cool, now he just needs to level up back to get, to grab Leomon. Excellent! And then after that I need to, you know, we'll do training to get his intelligence up. Which means I probably will just get to the bottom of this area and then leave, because he's definitely going to be over level 26 by the time I get to the bottom. Take a rest, get better.
But I think you're the one that needs a rest.
Well, it didn't just dawn on me, but I was sitting here like, oh, I shouldn't. But no, I should. It's faster.
I thought they were off.
Yeah, they weren't.
I always get confused about how long they are.
Like, it's not much faster, but it's like if you get like the team attacks, it doesn't do that either, I don't think. Or maybe it does, I don't know. They don't do the showing the camera angle of the, Oh, it does still do this animation. Yeah, it's really not that much faster.
Oh, I guess it does. You can just skip it.
But yeah, it doesn't show the camera angle of doing the short animation of you doing the attack actively.
So 7.5 hours was the speed run.
See? There must be some... I mean, I'd imagine not everybody has the exact same Digimon, but there might be one that they're like, yeah, get this one. Or something, I don't know.
And nobody bothered to do the new game plus.
Probably because that would require you to get a very powerful Digimon, and some people like that would take quite a bit of time. We're looking at 143, and we're missing the ABI, so we need to go back down.
But that would make everything really easy.
It would. Yeah, there's Grappleomon.
I had to know Final Fantasy X.
It's long. Even with
8 hours and 20 minutes, down to under 3 hours if you remove the cutscenes.
Yeah. Because there's so much talking. There's like a fancy thing that you can do on the hard disk version that like forces the cutscenes to run quicker, but it's only in very select areas and it can completely fuck with the audio. It's quite funny, but it's also very disorienting. And by fuck with the audio, I mean like the way like voices will like, they'll like actively skip around.
I see.
I'd have to find the clip of it, but yeah. Okay, so Leopardmon requires 120 intelligence. Speed should be easily acquired, but 62 plus the 22. We need to put defense limiter item on. Defense restraint. And that's about it, actually. That's all. That's as good as I can do. It went down by 1! Okay. Alright, move Leopardmon to Farm Island. These guys both need more intelligence. Gallantmon... That's a weird silhouette. But Gallantmon needs 140, and Growlmon has currently 80 at level 16. Both of these guys are gonna take a while. How? This is Farm 4. How much time do they have left? I think Farm Island does 45 minutes. Do we want to interrupt this?
Sounds right.
Do we want to interrupt this development time to swap back to training right now? It's like not quite half. No, it's not halfway through, because if it was 45, then halfway through would be closer to 20. No. 27, because that's
Yeah,
closer.
22 and a half minutes. Would be half.
So do we interrupt this?
Sure. They're just like, fuck that class. Just run away.
Yeah, we have the correct leader with Matadormon. And now we just get that 150 speed and get that max level for Dynasmon. And then we just have Crusadermon. Yeah, let's go in. One more level for Dynasmon.
Nice.
Question is, do we stay until Cressamon has 150 speed? Clearly, she's not getting one every time she levels up. It seems to be her least favored stat, even though it's fairly high. That's why it's like... Yeah, it's at 144, despite having been at 140 at, I think, around level 80. Maybe... Oh yeah! Maybe we do leave when Dynasmon is max level, because I think I have intelligence up food. That's how I learned that I needed to raise the camaraderie. Or not the camaraderie, the ABI of Growlmon, because he wasn't getting any stat ups. He didn't have high enough ABI. He needed 80 eventually anyway, but I can give him that intelligence up food now. I was expecting to run into something before I reached this, but okay. Where are you at? There you at! Oh, I don't have it anymore. Can I buy it? I don't think so, but I want to check. No. But I can sell these, Dark Guard. I have 36.
Like 36. That's one.
How many Master Discs do I have? 4. Go back up to Magna Angemon. And now Crusadermon. Cam 50, attack 120, intelligence 135, and speed 150. I need to
Into the cam right now.
I need to artificially manipulate his attack. That's a really low attack. But let me see. It's, what is his name? Magna Angemon. And I need 120.
That Angemon just sounds like somebody misspelled magnanimous.
Oh no, I don't. It's gonna be at around level 78. Okay, good. I was worried that I was going to, but no, he actually gets a decent amount. He just starts really low.
Ran through some please do not cross line.
Doesn't get one at level 2.
Tape. Is that what that is? Is that supposed to be like a do not cross tape? You just like ran through and just never like took off?
Kinda does, but I don't think that's what it's supposed to be.
Then what does this say?
It's supposed to be the Digimon language, written language, I think. Oh, I just realized Metal Greymon Blue doesn't have the patterns. I guess because the pattern is the same shade as the blue version.
Yeah, they're there. You just can't see them.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. Oh! I didn't realize that Metal Greymon Black didn't have regular eyes.
Bug doesn't have lungs.
What if I put Sistermon Beta in main as well, right? Is there another one that I would want to do? Not really. I guess these guys, just for fun, but...
Might as well.
Let me look. Duramon looks so silly. I guess now I could look for Alphamon and Examon to see so that, you know, there's room for them. Let's look at Examon first. Examon, Cyber Sleuth. Can I even make this? Slayer Dramon. I've made one of these before. Oh my god, this ad that's not loading. Okay. Yeah, I've made Slayer Dramon before. I can make him from Wing Dramon. Yeah, I remember this. Obviously, I can't use the Wing Dramon that I've made because, you know, he turned into a different one. I didn't realize. Oh, let me guess. Another Patamon.
Yep.
No, I need a Tokomon. I need to make a Tokomon. So
Another Toko?
yep, another Toko. Now let's see what I do, because last time we did this, I just took I took a Tokomon that, I devolved a Tokomon. So, I don't want to get rid of System on Beta. I don't want to, not what I meant to do. Oh, hey, welcome back, Hawkmon. This is what I'm trying to get to. So, there must be some line down here that I've messed with. Garudamon. I think I have a Chromon, actually. Yeah, let's take the Chromon and evolve him. Sorry, guy. Sorry, buddy. He's actually he's in the bank. And then, Alphamon. Specifically, his name is Alphamon Oryuken.
I mean...
Or rather, that's a further form from Alphamon.
Okay, I feel like that's too many letters to fit.
He comes from Cyberdramon, which I have. Right here. Let me see. Which one is it? Oh, it's this one. Well, cool. Alright then. Let me grab Cyberdramon from Farm Island 4. He fits? No. He does fit in the party. Good. Let me just put a random in. Okay. Yeah, hello, Groundermon. 31, 35. Oh yeah, I turned him into a Brainy so he would stop getting defense. Maybe I should do that for Leopardmon. Do I have a Brainy chip, though? Real quick, let me check.
You should.
I don't. I suppose I could. I don't want to switch him to Builder. So let me put Leopardmon back. So now.
Oh, I thought you were gonna go buy one.
Now, Chromon needs to devolve down into Toko again. but because I need Wingdramon, which is not Crowmon, obviously. So let me do that real quick. Oh, I don't have to go all the way down to Toko. I can just go up to Airdramon from here. Cool.
You gonna be okay with ABI?
I'll probably have to go up and down, but should be fine.
Okay.
Oh yeah, this guy. He's not gonna have the ABI. Defense 170, intelligence 135. His intelligence is very sad, but that's fine. Okay, good. I was about to say, like, speed 75, but no, he starts at 60, so it's fine. Sistermon is just here because she can be. We just need 5 more speed. Hopefully I don't need anything fancy for Alphamon and Examon, because that'll be sad, but I know what they... No, we know Alphamon's fine. I just don't know about Examon. I have to get over to Wingdramon first.
One closer, Egmon Nation. That was a lot of level ups. It was.
What the heck? That was the longest stretch I've walked without running into anything. $147. Or it didn't go up that time. She did level up, she just didn't get... Oh, hey! Sister Mon Beta learned Shining Laser Free. She's not the correct level to one tap, but maybe. If she could do the same amount of damage as Kirkimon, or at least a similar amount of damage, then I could stay in here longer and just swap. Them out, in and out of battle.
Pokemon.
Kirkimon wouldn't
Spyblind.
be leaving the party, it's just Kirkimon would be...
Spyblind.
Just be like a tag out, that'd be all.
I still feel bad for Pokemon.
Okay, ABI 20. I am definitely gonna have to go up and down, but it'll just probably be between Wingdramon and Airdramon. Two more. Oh yeah, let me look at Crusadermon real quick. Speed 150, attack 120, and cam 50%. Currently 27%. I could just give him friendship right now, and that would be good. Right? Yeah. Now I just need the level and the stats. Oh, I forgot to check quote-unquote Alphamon for Digivolving. Oh well. Let's just get some extra levels in. It wouldn't hurt.
Yeah. Alphamon, you have to have 100% ham with all the other ones and sacrifice them all to get just the
That would be so
all the
sad.
other holy knights.
Why would they do
Great.
that? No!
Why wouldn't they do that?
I mean, it would, you know, it'd be like, oh cool, I happen to do everything perfectly, but that would be so sad.
Persona 4. We gotta get like 12 personas. Whatever that giant fusion is.
Do we have a Kentaurus Mon? Nope. It was truly level 95. Ah, shoot. Ooh, nice crit. Yep. Man, only one equipment slot.
Makes sense based on the model.
Yeah, I need more ABI, so I'll keep now we properly have Kentaro Spawn. Now we gotta be careful. I can either temporarily, once again, remove Sistermon B. I might actually do that. Make some rooms that way. Because I want to actually see what it takes precisely to get... Okay, it would go up to Slayer Dramon, I forgot about that, and then I'd have to check afterwards. Level 55. A lot. Well, not that bad of HP. Speed is also easily attainable. I'd need more ABI, but maybe I do still go up and down slightly, because well, sometimes they don't ask for 80 ABI. I don't know. Okay, so who messaged me then? Ooh, what attribute of Digimon do wind damage most? Is it electric? It's not Earth. Well, it's definitely not dark. I don't know if it's Earth. Didn't electricity affect Earth more? Oh no! Is it Earth? I'm gonna assume Earth. We'll see.
That makes sense. Because you said electricity is only good underwater. And, Booker is using it.
Actually, that's the thing. Electricity as a vigor doesn't exist. That's how powerful. That's how powerful the electric plasmid was. It's not even a vigor in Infinite. Fire is, but it's applied differently.
Oh.
I don't know if the mic picked that up, but I'm sorry. That was a weird sound.
I'm not sure what that sound was, but I did hear something.
Yeah. It was something where... I don't know how I do it. Well, I don't know why it's something that occasionally happens, but it's like I had my mouth closed, and my tongue was pressed to the roof of my mouth or something like that, or it slid against the roof of my mouth as I opened my mouth, which made that weird sound.
Does the sound have a name?
No, I don't think so, at least. Okay, I need... Nope, I got it right. Cool. 7 more. Two more. One more. Multi-encounter, that is. I'm gonna try to not autopilot and use Shining Laser on a single enemy. Okay. Dungeon.
The cat has a really long tail.
It does. Looking at it. Alright, so we need 120, 150, and we know that it's possible. We don't need to mess with his stats for that. Yeah. He's another one that needs his intelligence messed with. Do I just put him now, since that's what the other two are also working on? And then worry about ABI? Maybe. Or did I find out... What is this? It starts with a C. Let me check.
Caped Crusader? That one does kind of look like Batman.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no, he needs to have his intelligence messed with, because it only goes up to 118, and it's asking for... It's asking for 135, so... Yes, he does need to be moved, I think. I'll put Ground Dramon back in the bank. Oh, speaking of the farms, let's look at them. Okay, he's already at 100. I guess... Out of the 120 needed at level 15, that's pretty good. And then Gallant, our beautiful boy, is at 110 out of 140 needed, and having that at level 20 is pretty good as well. He just needs to be a few levels higher. And I wanted to check Examon. I need Camaraderie 100, and I need Breakdramon to be my friend. Who is Breakdramon? This might take the longest of them, but let's see. What the heck is Breakdramon? Breakdramon looks really silly. Well, what do you frickin' know? This is Breakdramon. He comes from Grounddramon. And I have the ABI, I just need attack 160, defense 140. That's easily obtainable. He also needs to be level 55. Well, what do you know? I was gonna not put you in the party, but guess what, buddy? I actually do need you. Which means technically... Do I also call him Examon? I don't think so. But he is gonna be in the party because... lol. Though, what do you think?
I think they should pump the brakes.
That's actually so funny, though. But yeah, I thought Examon might require something fancy because I realized, looking at him, that boss that we just fought in the previous chapter, the giant red thing that Crusadermon was controlling, that's Examon. I don't think our Examon will be quite as large as that one, but...
Let's see.
Theoretically, in essence, we have actually seen Examon. Literally the only one we haven't is Alpha. I don't know if there's any others. So far, we've seen them all, and the only one I couldn't make was one of the ones that Vmon digivolves into, because I needed Human Spirit of Light, which is a endgame material.
I see.
But yeah, I do think we will stop here. I mean, let's wait out the 2 minutes for the training and then start it up again. Though I think I'll move Grappleomon and Wargrowlmon into the bank because they don't need any more intelligence. At least I don't think. They're both over 100, and one asks for 120 and the other asks for 140, I think. And they're both really low level, being over 100, so... Cyberdramon needs a lot. But luckily he digivolves straight into, Alphamon, so I can just look to see if he's close enough to say good enough. Instead of having to remember. But yeah, we'll just wait out these 2 minutes. Made good progress. Started up making 2 more, but sounds like Examon will be done last. Maybe. Because a Camaraderie 100% is... I think I only have 3 Friendship DXs left, so I would have to actually bring them to fights.
But you can do this stuff on the farm, right? Feed them.
I could do that. I could indeed
You
do
have the
that.
money. You have the money.
Oh, I have more than enough money, yeah. There we go.
But isn't there another one in a minute that ends?
Probably. Okay, but I'm gonna move them. Yeah, they don't fit in my party at the moment, so I'm gonna move them. Hopefully him being level 63 doesn't mess up how much he raises his intelligence. But yeah, you're right. What's also almost done? Oh, this one. I guess we may as well wait for this one too, then.
That's just me like a clock. Back and forth. Pendulum.
Do I call him Exafood? Because I think it's the other one that's going to actually become Examon. I guess I could just call him Examon also. Examon 2. I'll need them both.
But two isn't hypothetical. The two is the real. Two should be outside of the quotation.
Very well. Which leads into the next thing. I was working on the other two first, so I should actually have them in my party, not these guys. Because they have everything else, they just need the level.
I see.
Yeah. So it would be faster. I'm gonna run out of room, though. Like, Crusadermon that's gonna be too high. So they'll have to go back in the bank eventually, because Kintarosmon's not going to be level 99 by the time that happens, but...
I see.
Dang. They made a chrome Digizoid with... Huh, wow.
Oh, I just found it. It's on the island.
But yeah, we'll wrap up there. Woo! But yeah, we're gonna have more Royal Knights. Maybe even all of them. I actually want to know real quick before I stop this recording. I want to know all the Royal Knights.
Like 20 of them.
Alphamon, I have no idea what Craniumon is. So, we have not seen Craniumon.
And these are in this game, not just in total.
Well, I was gonna say in total,
Right.
but yeah, maybe I should check.
Well, like maybe like the show has like more than this game has. Was my thinking, but I don't know.
Oh my god. Alphamon, Ulforce Feedramon, Exmon, Gonkumon, Craniummon, Jesmon, Sleepmon, Dukemon, Dynasmon, Duffmon, Lord Nightmon, Imperial Dramon. That's not correct. Yeah, he said, yeah, here's Magnamon. Dynasmon was listed as being a Royal Knight. I'm gonna just look at all Royal Knights on the Digimon wiki. Because that game fact did not have Crusadermon. Didn't even have Crusadermon in it, right? Anyway, Alphamon. I don't know if Craniamon is in the game. Crusadermon, Dynasmon, Examon, Gallantmon. I don't know if Gonkomon is in. Oh no, Gonkomon I think actually is in. I don't know. There's Jesmon, Kintarusmon, Leopardmon, Can't Make Magnamon, Omnimon, and Ulforce Vidramon. So I can't make Magnamon, because that's the one that needs Human Spirit of Light. Wait, haven't we actually seen Gonkomon? That's just like the guy, right?
Would it be in the guide? Field guide?
I'm gonna check who messaged me later, but we didn't fight him, so I wouldn't know. But was Gonkomon not the guy that was training Hackmon?
Oh, I don't know.
I think he was.
The one who threw them at you? Isn't that what happened?
Yeah. Okay, so Gonkomon, and I guess look up Craniamon just to be sure. So Cyber Sleuth. Yeah, he was the guy. You can make this one. Superstarmon or Skullmaramon. Well, I have a Skullmaramon, so I'll just have to remember that. Actually, wait, I have a really great way of remembering that. I'll just have to remember that. Okay, and then Craniamon. Craniamon can be made in Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth. He evolves from Andromon, which I actually have as well. Wow! He's in the Digibank, I actually think. Yeah, there he is. Let me just swap him for Examon 2 real quick. Now I'm keeping Examon 2 because, yeah, I need to get him to be this guy.
Right.
Alright, cool, but who messaged me? What was that about? Oh, what Digimon special move shoots energy balls from his chest? I don't know. I'm just gonna say that. Alright, so there's... We almost have them all. All of them can be made. And I actually have the Digimon, because that's actually really funny that I had. That I didn't have to super work hard on the last ones that I was... I mean, I still do, but it's like, they're right there, so I can see exactly what's needed.
Right.
So, yippee! But yeah, whoa. Now, I end the recording.